Hi everyone, this is The Zenith, and I am the author of the blog The Spirit Channel. The Spirit Channel is a blog about spirituality, and so in this new podcast, this will be my topic of discussion: spirituality. Spirituality to me can encompass anything. As we're all eternal spiritual beings having a human experience, then basically I can talk about pretty much anything, or anything can be deemed spiritual. But for now, I'll probably be sticking to the more traditional kind of spiritual topics. But also, in that term spiritual, I would declare myself as a truth seeker, a seeker of truth. And so with that, within spiritual topics can come earthly related topics or topics that may affect us on a day-to-day basis. So that will be in my podcast too. The reason I've decided to make a podcast is that I have found, and a lot of people within my spiritual circle have also reiterated the same thing, is that they just don't have the time to read a long blog post. And for some, it's not their preferred method of learning or even communicating. And by that I mean a lot of people prefer to listen to voice notes, or prefer to even hear me talking in our get-togethers or our new normal Zoom meetings. And so for that reason, and also I recognise that in today's fast-paced society, a lot of people just don't have the time to consume a lot of words or spend a lot of time online reading through a blog post. And it also can be very, very time consuming trying to articulate your thoughts and make sure your sentences and paragraphs are grammatically structured correctly, and to fact search and research things, and also find images for your ideas that you're trying to convey. So that's another reason why I've turned my attention to podcasts. My intention for doing this here is simply for the information that I decide to record or put out here, just to help people along their path, perhaps waken people, to help people in their normal daily lives try to make sense of this world, or to understand what they're going through. So my podcasts will be a reflection on my blog posts, in that I'll discuss a lot of helpful spiritual information that I've found have been really helpful to me, and that obviously sings to me. I'll also probably discuss other spiritual related topics, ideas and subjects and information that has come into the hands of humanity, that you may want to turn your attention to. I'll also share a lot of information, help, advice and guides that have come to me from my team in Spirit, which have helped me through some really bad and really turbulent, chaotic periods of time in my life, in the hope that it may help some of you out there who are going through the same thing. And also perhaps I may share some channeled information that I have received. Now currently the vast majority of this has come in the form of inspirational writing, so for sharing that there, I will probably not use my own voice, and it'll probably be in the form of one of the computer generated voices, if that makes it a bit easier. But for the most part, I intend to record future episodes of this podcast the way I'm sharing this introductory one now. And also, hopefully it'll be a lot more clear and a lot more clean, as currently I'm just recording this on my phone. Doing this type of podcast and sharing information in this way is a big challenge to me. It was a big decision to me, because if you go and look at my blog, you'll find very, very, very little information about me contained within them. There's certainly no picture of me. As I said, I go by the handle of The Zenith, and the reason for doing that is that I want people who are reading the information contained in my blog, and certainly going forward, perhaps listening to these podcasts, is just to focus on the message rather than the person who's given the message. I find that is very unhelpful, and people can become starstruck and perhaps focus on the person rather than what the person is trying to say. So for that reason, I've kept most of my personal information off my blog. So taking this step to record a podcast using my own voice is a big step for me, because obviously you'll be able to recognize that I have a very masculine sounding voice, so I'm more than likely a man. So obviously you'll be able to guess my gender, and obviously by the sound of my accent it wouldn't be too hard to guess if you don't already know that yes, I am from the country of Ireland and from the north of that island. So once again, this isn't an easy step for me, but as I said, in order to convey my ideas a bit more quicker and a bit more helpful in a shorter space of time, I've taken this step to move into this medium. So I really do hope that future episodes of this here, I'll have plenty to talk about, and hopefully you, the listener, will help grow with me on this journey, and you'll find some of the information contained within these podcasts helpful to you. I'd also like to hear from anyone who has any comments on anything that I have to say. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to learn myself. I don't have all the answers. I am still undergoing my own spiritual journey, as are everyone else on this planet, no matter how long or how quickly they've started their spiritual journey. So for that, I am going to start recording hopefully weekly episodes of this, sharing my thoughts, beliefs, opinions, and any advice that I find or feel may be helpful to you, the listener. So I really do hope that this little introduction hasn't been too long and hasn't been too boring and hasn't been too full of ums and ahs. I'm really not professional, and this is the way I certainly intend to continue my future episodes of this podcast. Just raw, undiluted, and not working off a script. But I hope by doing that you'll be able to sense how the genuineness of it, rather than being a script-led and professional setup. It comes from the heart, and it really does have meaning, and I really do hope that someone or whoever listens to this here, hopefully I'll have some people, and hopefully you'll help me grow this. We'll be able to get help and advice and information out of this. So I think I'll leave it there, and I'll just say thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this, and I look forward to recording more of these podcasts and hopefully interacting with you, the listener, and hopefully you will help me grow and grow on this journey with me. So until we meet again, dear listener, thank you and goodbye.